Alright, man, you read the title right, so let's cut right to the chase. Your boy just hit 4 years on semen retention. Yes, sir, let me say that again. Your boy just hit 4 years of not busting a nut. So without further ado, let's talk about some of the lessons, some of the experiences, and some of the overall biggest takeaways I've gotten from this journey that you might be able to implement onto your own path as well. So without further ado, let's break this bitch down real quick like a brick for y'all. Now, what I really want to talk about is how this whole journey makes you more of yourself. Let me repeat that again. This journey of semen retention, sexually transmutating your energy, and actually transcending above your lower animalistic nature makes you more of yourself. So what do I mean by that? What does that even equate to? So what I'm trying to kind of relay to you guys within that message is that when you finally stop chasing external pleasures, chasing external validation, chasing cheap spikes of dopamine from the material world, you start to look and send your attention inwards. You start to focus your energy inwards. You get to focus all that attention, effort, time, all that good stuff towards your own inner development. Like, a lot of people don't realize this, man. Like, when you first are born and you grow up throughout life, you have certain qualities to you that are in the background, that are God gifted to you, waiting to be unlocked. But in order for you to unlock those qualities of yourself, in order to unlock those spiritual senses, if you want to call it that, to unlock your psychological framework, you need to shift your energy from the external world on over to your internal world. As the Hermetics say, as above, so below. Just as much as you pay attention to the external world, you should be paying that same attention towards your internal world. Matter of fact, in my opinion, the external world is a reflection of your internal state of mind, of your internal perspective. Your perspective paints the picture of reality. So when you keep focusing on chasing external pleasures, whether that's through fast food, whether that's through watching porn, whether that's through hookup culture, you're draining and depleting that energy, attention, and focus that you could instead be transferring on over to your inner development. And when you put it towards your inner development, it compounds because it extends out onto the external world. When you start to elevate yourself from within, everything outside of yourself also starts to elevate with you, because you start to pull and attract on the things that also are vibrating on that same frequency, vibrating on that same wavelength. That's why when you're on this path of semen retention, I'll be breaking this down more in depth and detail on a later video on this channel. You start to essentially kill your old self, kill off your old programming, and start to embody your highest self. And that is what I'm trying to say. You become more of yourself. You become more of who you are. You become more of who you're always meant to be. Because now you're not seeking externally for validation from women. You're not seeking externally for validation from your friends. You're not seeking externally for validation from whatever it is, from sensory pleasures. You understand all the fulfillment, joy, happiness, all those emotions that you're seeking for reside within, and you can activate it from within. And it actually feels 100 times better from within. Just like how, let's say you watch an amazing movie, a classical movie, and that same company decided to make a sequel to it. It don't hit the same. Or they remaster it. It don't hit the same. The external pleasures, yes, they're there, but it don't hit the same as internal pleasures. Like I've talked about before on this channel. Sensory pleasures, sensual pleasures will never equate to spiritual ecstasy that can only be accessed from within. This is why this whole practice is so powerful, man. And it goes so much further beyond just not busting a nut, than just not wanking your meat, than just not quitting porn, than just not being degenerate in the hookup culture scene. It goes far beyond that. That's just getting yourself out of your negative state. I like to think of it like that. With all the people that I work with one-on-one, with the people that I talk to in the private Patreon community, shout out to the fucking private Patreon community. If you want access to exclusive content, that we're getting in depth with all these different topics, from semen retention, biohacking, psychology, spirituality, as well as full guides, in-depth occult lectures, and of course, access to our monthly masterminds, where we got a private group chat of like-minded men who are also on this path of self-mastery, where we get to gather with each other 2 times a month on a live call and just discuss all these types of things. Because at the end of the day, man, there's not many people probably in your day-to-day life that you can discuss about these high-level topics with. So when you actually surround yourself in an environment of like-minded men who are also on this path, whether that be virtually, whether that be you meet some people in that community, which has happened already. Some people in our private Patreon community have met up with each other in real life, so that's awesome to hear. You get to actually get the confirmation that you're on the right path. And that's something that we can discuss further on along this video. But all that good stuff, man, is gonna be posted in the pinned comment of this video. I'm talking about links to the private Patreon community, links to application forms to work with me one-on-one, as well as booking consultations, one-time one-on-one consultations, free community Discord, weekly newsletters, all that fucking good stuff, man, is posted in the pinned comment of this video, so make sure you go run it up. But what I was saying is that with the people I work with one-on-one in my coaching programs, or if they just hop on for a one-time one-on-one consultation, or we just hop into the monthly mastermind or chat in the private group chat within the inner circle and Patreon, I try to kind of relay this message that when you're on this path, when you're on this journey, you start to realize and see things for what they truly are. Because again, you're becoming more of yourself. You're becoming more of you. You get to realize that, man, everybody out here is kind of doing something just to get external pleasure. They never look internally. So in the form of sex and sexual gratification, guys are buying this type of clothes to attract this type of women. They go to these types of clubs. They drop this amount of money on bottles. They drive this type of car. They work this type of job just to be able to gratify their sexual desires. They're putting all the energy, all that time, all that effort into becoming somebody or something that they think will attract whatever type of girls that they're looking for, in order to get external pleasures from their sexual organs. Think about that. Because you've done it, I've done it, a lot of people around you are still doing it to this very day. And it doesn't just have to go with sexual gratification. You can go to many other things. But in my opinion, and for being 100% honest, keeping it 100 like a goddamn Benjamin Franklin, the sexual pull, the sexual desire is what most men gravitate towards, and what most men have essentially like a shackle on them for. They act in certain ways, they behave in certain ways, they talk in certain ways, they do certain things, they wear certain clothes, they look a certain way just to be able to gratify that desire. And that's a lower level desire. I've talked about it so much on this channel, on Patreon, on the main channel, all that good stuff, that these are the 3 lower worlds, the 3 lower chakras, the 3 lower planes of consciousness. They're not bad, they're not evil, they're just lower than what you could actually tap into. This whole journey is not about eradicating lust and thinking that it's evil and demonizing all these things. It's realizing that, man, I'm just tapping into a low level or a low standard, low quality of what life can truly offer to me on all the planes of reality, the mental, the physical, and the spiritual. I'm just tapping into like the first couple base layers of it, because I'm gratifying the first world, first chakra, or first plane of consciousness, which is about survival, the next one which is about sex, and the last one which is about status. How do people look at me? Do people think I'm the boss? Do people think I'm the top G? Do people think I'm cool? Again, external validation, external pleasure. You're hearing the confirmation, everyone, hey man, you're a G, bro, I love you, bro, you're this, you're that, man, you're doing this, blah, 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 from girls, guys, family, whatever. If you're living in that state of mind of either survival, of course, sex, and status, you're not an evil person, you're not bad, you're not quote unquote unspiritual or just a person that's not awakened. You're just depleting and kind of downgrading the potential of what life can truly offer you. Because when you tap into the higher levels, guess what? You stop looking so much externally and you withdraw the attention, energy, and all that good stuff internally towards your own development of the mind, body, and soul. And guess what? When you do that, you taste true fulfillment. You taste true spiritual ecstasy, and you taste true happiness and joy for what it really is. All this stuff is within, bro, I'm telling you. And this practice of semen retention, that's why even 4 years into this journey, I don't even like to kind of discuss it as semen retention, because a lot of people, again, I'll be making another video about this, mock the whole concept, mock the whole ideology behind it. Because they're like, oh, you're just retaining your cum, oh, you're just retaining your semen. Like, dude, I know the word just even sounds stupid, even as someone who practices this. But when you realize it, as you go on to these longer level streaks, because the longer you retain, the more becomes revealed, you'll understand that, man, this ain't really about just retaining my sexual energy, but it's about actually sublimating that, transmuting that, and turning that base metal into gold. So maybe I'll change the name of it and keep it moving, but a lot of people understand when they click on this video, semen retention, what I'm talking about. So we'll just roll with that. But I just kind of want you to change your mindset of, it's not just about holding your semen, holding in your semen, holding in your semen. It's not about that. It's changing your desire for sex, your desire for sensual gratification towards a more divine desire of creation, of being a divine vessel for God, using your mind, body, and soul as transmitters, as conduits for the universe, God, or whatever you want to call it, to send you information, send you signals, send you energies emanating from the Supreme Source to tell you how to walk this path towards your true purpose, towards your true state of fulfillment, towards your true journey and dharmic duty, spiritual mission in life. That's what truly gives you all these emotional kind of attachments that you want to feel in the external world. It gives you the happiness, it gives you the joy, it gives you euphoria, bliss, all that good stuff. But it's a much more difficult path. It takes a lot more energy, time, and effort to do it, but guess what? Rome wasn't built in a day. Anything with true value in life that extends, that actually lasts, requires energy, effort, and attention put towards it. And while you're on this journey, not only you get more acclimated to that state of mind, your brain starts to rewire from instant gratification to delayed gratification. You'll start enjoying the process along the way. You start enjoying the progress you make along the way. It's not just about the end destination. This is why I always talk about the law of detachment. Talked about it on this channel, on the main channel, on the private Patreon community, breaking down that topic in the perspective of the Tao Te Ching, the Bhagavad Gita, these holy texts that give you understanding of how to actually implement this universal law into your life. It's not about being detached from the world, but it's being detached from, I'm not going to be happy unless I get this result. I'm not going to be happy unless I finally achieve this goal. It's about being fully immersed into the present moment of doing the work, of doing the task, of doing all these things that will get you to that point that you even forget about where you're going. You even forget about the end destination. And guess what? When you do that, the end destination literally happens like that. You're so fully immersed in the whole moment, man. You've probably had instances like that where the day goes by so fast because you're so immersed in the present moment and you're having so much joy, so much fun throughout the whole process, throughout the whole journey. This is what you want to bring into your actual day-to-day life. Not just for one day, not just for 2 days, but 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And this is what this practice does, because again, from the beginning of this video, we talked about how it makes you become more of you, makes you more of yourself. So you're not looking for oh man, if I get this, people will think I'm cool. Oh man, if I hit up that girl, I'll get this amount of pleasure. Oh man, if I wear this clothes, maybe I'll get this attention. Oh man, if I do X, Y, and Z, maybe people will notice me and I'll be cool and blah, blah, blah. Like, people don't realize that, man, even if you're fucking 30 years old, grown ass man, you're still living like you're in high school and middle school, seeking for external validation. You might have matured physically, you've gone through puberty, but mentally and spiritually, most important spiritually, you haven't had that same amount of maturity. And this is what this practice will do for you. It makes you mature mentally, it makes you mature psychologically, and it makes you mature spiritually. Evolution happens on different stages. And us as humans, we are meant to continue evolving spiritually, continue evolving mentally. Yes, maybe at a certain point, your physical body doesn't keep growing. Your physical body doesn't keep getting bigger and stronger. You start getting older. Most likely that's not the case for you because you're probably my age, a little bit younger, a little bit older. But you're in a state where that evolution is being depleted because you're wasting the energy, the cosmic force, the life force energy needed for that evolution on external pleasures. This is why you get mental benefits on semen retention. This is why you get the spiritual benefits on semen retention. Because you have the energy on your side as an ally. You're using, quote unquote, your sexual energy to your advantage rather than letting it become your source of demise. God damn, let me say that again. Your sexual energy becomes used towards your advantage of your mental and spiritual evolution rather than the source of your demise that degenerates you towards your lower self. This is what this whole practice is about. It ain't about the female attraction. It ain't about the external tangible results. Those are great. Those are byproducts. Those are some things just keep in the background. I know in the beginning of the journey, you might be focusing on that, but I'm telling you right now, as someone who's been 4 years on this journey, I'm not trying to say like, oh, look at me, man. I'm fucking Super Saiyan 4 because I did 4 years of semen retention. No, I don't really even give a fuck about how long I've been on this journey. I think you've probably heard this message from me, but I think, yes, you should understand how far you're along this journey, but you shouldn't make that the end goal. Oh, if I hit 300 days, everything's going to be great. This is a tool. This isn't the journey itself. And this is what you realize when you go into longer term streaks. And this is what I teach the people that I work with one-on-one, that are in my private Patreon community, that we do one-on-one consultations with. This practice is a tool, not the end goal, not the end destination. If you center around your whole life of being like, okay, if I hit 300 days of semen retention, 400 days, 500, 600, 1,000 days of semen retention, my life will be complete. You got it all the way twisted, and you got it all the way fucked up, bro. Sorry to tell you. Maybe these other content creators that you're watching talk about semen retention gave you this false information, but I'm really out here in the field, in the flesh, being a living source of proof that what this practice is really about. And I'm telling you right now, it's not the end goal. It's not the end destination. I have a lot of things I still need to figure out in life. But this practice is the tool to help me figure out those things. It's giving me the mental clarity. It's providing me with the spiritual intuition. It's giving me the energy, vitality, and all the good stuff on the physical realm to go out there and make those things happen because now I have the information. Now I have the guidance from God on my spiritual side. Now I have the focus, the higher faculties of my mind working towards my advantage. When you're constantly depleting yourself, that's why I said you're downgrading your potential, what you can tap into in life. You don't know what true mental clarity is. You don't know what true spiritual intuition is. You don't understand these things because you have been depleting the resource that allows you to tap into it. Think of your sexual energy, your life force energy, as a currency. If you have $5, what can you buy at the store? Not that much, right? Not that much. Maybe a fucking bag of peanuts and chips, some lower level shit. But if you got $50, $60, $70, $80, $100, you can go get a 5-star, full course meal. Michelin restaurant. You got the bread, you got the currency to do that. That's what happens when we actually practice semen retention. we build up that energy, we cultivate our life force energy, and we cash it in instead for spiritual ecstasy. We cash it in instead for mental clarity. We cash it in instead for physical vitality. Not just a couple seconds of pleasure because we got a dopamine rush from wanking our meat on pixels on the screen, or just chasing some random women on a dating app and just having a one-night stand. I've been there, I've done that. And I'm telling you right now, the spiritual ecstasy and all that good stuff is much better. The chips and all that stuff, that's all you've been eating. You don't know that there's 5-star meals out there waiting for you to eat up on, to feast upon. And all you can eat buffet of the best foods possible out there. But again, these foods and these fruits of your labor are internal. These aren't external foods and restaurants we're talking about, but internal vigor, vitality, groundedness, stoicness, connection to the source, the inner divinity, all that good stuff, man. That's what happens on this practice. That's what you should be focusing on. Not making, okay, if I make it to 300 days, I'm going to be fucking God. That's not what happens. That's not what happens. So stop listening to these idiots talk about this shit in a sense where they're like, oh man, if you hit X amount of days, girls just like fall out of the sky and go on their knees, be like, can you please marry me, have me my kids? Dude, if you already have that state of mind going into this practice, you're not treating this practice for what it truly is. You're, again, butchering what this sacred practice is all about. And this happens on every single level within the West. They take things from the Eastern mystics and they completely butcher it on a religious level, on a spiritual level, and of course, even on semen retention level. They're making a holy practice of being able to transcend beyond your lower desires, to be able to connect to a higher source and essentially develop your mind, body, and soul into a conduit or transmitter, like we said, for God to be able to give you the information, give you the resources, and give you the tools to go out there and actually accomplish your spiritual mission in life. They take all that shit, they butcher it up to the point where the Western world, the perspective of external pleasure, external pleasure, external pleasure. Use semen retention for female attraction. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Elevate beyond that, man. You're using this practice that's meant for you to be able to transcend beyond searching for external pleasures to get external pleasures. How does that make sense? It's like trying to put out fire with fire. That's why you don't see the results. That's why you think I'm bullshitting. That's why you think this is a scam. Because your mindset, your perspective, like we said before, paints a picture of reality. If your perspective was already focused on getting external pleasures from this internal practice, it doesn't connect. It's like, you know, those games that you give to little babies that there's like a bunch of different shapes, like a circle, square, triangle, and there's a bunch of like different elements to actually fit them through. You're trying to fit a square block into a triangle hole. Shit don't mix. You're not going to get the results because they're not connecting. Your internal state of mind, your internal perspective is not in correlation to what this practice is really about. Clear as day, clear as day. This is what you realize as you further progress along this path. And this is what I've been realizing, especially on this journey from 3 to 4 years, because I did make a video last year on my 3-year update. I'm going to be continuing to do this because I don't see myself kind of bending or folding or going back to my old ways on this journey, man. Like, of course, later on down the line, if there's something on my path where I become a father and this and that, of course, that's part of the game, but I understand how powerful this practice is. I understand what it means on a deeper level, what these occultists, what these yogis, what these sages, what these mystics were talking about. I understand why they said that. I understand it on an esoteric level, not on an exoteric level. You see all these religions talk about chastity, celibacy, and all that stuff because you become unholy if you do this, if you kind of just waste your seed. And that's what kind of makes kids and makes this generation rebel against that because it's constricting, it's repressing your sexual energy. That's the exoteric side of it. That's why we have an over-sexualized society, because if you swing one way too hard, it's going to eventually, the pendulum's going to swing too much in that way. Someone asked this recently to me being like all these religious kind of upbringings I was around kind of made me be scared of intimacy, be scared of sexuality and all that stuff. But you just got it twisted in the wrong way, and this is what religion on an exoteric level does. This is why I consider myself on the mystic path, understanding the esoteric interpretations of things. And this requires you to be more intelligent. I'm not just saying this because I'm trying to say, oh, I'm smart. But you guys who are watching this content, who are watching my main channel content, who are tapped into the private Patreon community, who do the one-on-one consultations with me in my coaching programs, you think on a deeper level. You are a free thinker. You try to kind of take things for what they are, but understand the reasoning behind them. And when you go to the mystic paths and you understand the esoteric interpretations of why they practice semen retention, why they practice celibacy, and why they practice chastity, and why it's so recommended for those who are truly serious about the spiritual path of life, you'll realize that, man, it isn't just about, it isn't repress, they don't repress your sexual energy. The teachings they give you don't repress it. I've already talked about on this channel the difference between sexual transmutation and sexual repression, but short summary of that is when you are on this practice of semen retention, if you repress your sexual energy, that energy becomes your demon. That's why people are like, oh man, I feel like I'm fighting my urges. Bro, calm the fuck down. We ain't in World War fucking III, bro. Fighting your urges, fighting demons, calm down, relax. You're just repressing your sexual energy because guess what? You've been so programmed to think that the only way you can express this energy is through sexual release. In the Western world, we're never taught that sexual energy doesn't just have to do with sex. And I don't even like to bring the word sexual energy, but for you to understand what I'm saying, I have to say these words. I like to just say it's a form of life force energy, just like food, just like water, just like air, prana. This is why I think that the Vedic philosophy, out of all the systems and schools of thought, are the most spiritually advanced because they broke it down into a science. Yoga is science. Yoga isn't just fucking stretching. Yoga isn't some fucking pants that these girls wear that you stare at their butts all the time. Yoga is the science of connecting your soul to God, or connecting your consciousness to the consciousness of the divine. And they use these sciences, these tools, to be able to give you the ability to take certain energies, prana, and elevate it from, again, the base levels, sexual energy, urges, towards spiritual ecstasy. So again, when you start to realize all these things, you start to understand that if you just repress that energy, it becomes a demise. It becomes a source of your demise. That's why people relapse, continue to relapse and relapse, because you've been so psychologically programmed to think that, okay, man, if I have these urges, the only way I can express them is by holding it and repressing it, which makes me more horny, more angry, more frustrated, sexually frustrated, or to sexually release my energy. When in reality, when you understand the art of sexual transmutation, you can take that same energy and use it towards willpower, towards your business, towards your creative pursuits, towards spiritual enlightenment. It's just energy at the end of the day. Stop labeling it as this energy, that energy, blah, blah, blah. It's a life force energy contained within your motherfucking nutsack. The generator. That's like the generator of the car. If you generate enough energy and you actually pump it up to your higher centers, guess what? It opens up this generator. The mind, the third eye, your sixth sense. Tapping into your spiritual senses like we talked about before on this channel. This is what happens when you start understanding the more mystic interpretations and esoteric philosophies of different schools of thought. They give you a deeper understanding of why you're doing it. When you go to certain exoteric references, they tell you just don't do it. It's bad, it's evil, you're gonna go to hell. That's why a lot of people who are brought up in a religious household kind of struggle with sexuality sometimes, struggle with even semen retention sometimes, because they've been constrained. They've been constraining that sexual energy and repressing it for so long. But when you go to the esoteric, like we just said, you understand what it's used for. It's a tool to be able to awaken your psychic glands, your higher faculties, by actually using certain methods, techniques, and tips like pranayama, like meditation, like different outlets and different planes to express it on. And if you need more explanation on that, go check out the Art of Retention ebook. Go check out my free ebook called The Art of Retention by going on YouTube right now, clicking Fulati Fitness. That's the main channel. Go on How to Succeed on Semen Retention. Just search that up. How to Succeed on Semen Retention. It'll probably be the first video that pops up from Fulati Fitness. There's a whole video guide on how you can actually use this practice towards your advantage and use it towards your elevation in life, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And again, in there, you'll be able to tap into the Art of Retention ebook, which goes even more in depth than the video guide. And if you can't read, you don't want to sit down and read, guess what? Your boy's got you covered with a full audio series of that Art of Retention ebook. So go on the main channel, Fulati Fitness, go on playlist, and you'll be able to find the Art of Retention ebook audio series. Pop it in while you go on a walk, pop it in while you work out, pop it in while you're just doing your errands, and understand the deeper aspects of how you can actually use this practice towards your advantage. Okay, so everything's laid out for you. And if you need more help, apply for the one-on-one coaching. If you need more help, book a one-on-one consultation. If you need more help, join the motherfucking private Patreon community, man. There's all the resources out there for you, bro. I want to impart to you guys the wisdom, the information that helped me get to 4 years now, and actually be able to see the benefits. Because it doesn't matter if I was on 4 years of semen retention, I didn't see any results. I didn't see any actual tangible effects of my mental, physical, and spiritual development. I see it. I see it in my day-to-day life, and I see how from 3 years to 4 years, it changed. So we'll be able to see in a year from now, from 4 to 5, what else changes when I update you guys. I want you guys to be able to experience that too, with the information I wish somebody gave me much earlier. So you don't have to go through the ups and downs. You don't have to go through the obstacles. All these types of things, my services, my products are gonna design a streamlined system for you to be able to just bypass all that nonsense. So just take that into consideration if you're someone who's truly serious about this path and you might be struggling along the way. If you are actually seeing these results, what I want you to do right now is comment down below. Comment down below, share us your experience. Share us your experience and be able to enlighten others about how powerful this practice truly is, man. Because again, hearing from one person is one thing, but hearing it from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is amazing. That's why you should hop into the free community Discord server. We got a bunch of guys in there, over 2,000 or something like that, talking about all these types of things on different levels. Surround yourself in environments of men who are truly serious about the path of self-mastery, because this is what this practice is truly entailing. Helping you master your vessel, helping you master your mind in order for the soul to be awakened. If the senses, if your emotions, if your urges can control you and dictate your actions, guess what? You're not truly a real man. And I want to talk about this more in depth in detail in another video, but that's what a true man is. Not somebody who can control the external environment, but one who can control his internal environment, his internal world, which again equates out to changing himself externally. The external world will bend and fold to his will, because now he focuses on the only thing that he can control, is self. That's why self-mastery is the ultimate path, man. Self-improvement, good and all, but that's the base level. That's from getting you from your negative states on over to baseline, 0, what's going to take you to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100. 100% of your potential is self-mastery. And semen retention is a crucial component of that, in my opinion. All the greatest masters understood this. All the greatest innovators understood this. All the greatest masters of their craft understood this. Steve Jobs, Leonardo da Vinci, Nikola Tesla, Isaac Newton, all the greatest yogis, sages, mystics, all that stuff, they understood this. Some of the greatest athletes understand this. I'm not telling you you have to go 4 years on semen retention to experience all this. I do believe the longer you do retain, the more it becomes revealed, but some form of being able to control your senses and shift your life force energy towards only being expressed in the sexual arena to higher faculties is needed for each and every single man. I don't care. Don't care what your goal is, how old you are, where you want to go in life. You need that. It's why it's so important. That's why I'll keep bringing out this message until people start clicking. It starts actually marinating in your mind. You actually understand what this practice is about. Not just thinking, oh man, if I quit porn, my life is gonna be fucking A1 perfect. Guess what? If you quit porn, you're probably repressing that sexual energy because you've been only trained to release it through porn. You gotta replace that outlet with another one. That's only understood when you tap into the true practices needed to build up the foundation that is actually proper enough to help you practice semen retention for an extended period of time. AKA the pranayama, AKA the breath work, AKA the meditations, the physical exercise, the spiritual outlet, the creative outlet, all the things I talk about on the full video guide, How to Succeed on Semen Retention, and within the Art of Retention ebook. Those are all necessary for you to truly realize what this is all about. So with all that said, man, that was kind of a rundown of what I've kind of took away from year 3 to year 4 of semen retention. And again, this is a much deeper level journey than you might think. So if you're struggling, if you kind of think it's placebo, if you think it's nonsense, man, I'm telling you right now, someone who might be a little bit ahead of you along this arena of life, along this lane of life, keep pushing, bro. Keep pushing, because if you, again, want to actually experience your higher abilities, your higher faculties, your higher potentialities in life, this is what's going to be needed, because you're going to revert back to the lower centers, your old ways. We only get to experience 30% of life, 40% of what life has to offer, 40% of what your true potential really has to offer you on the mental, physical, and spiritual. If you want to tap into 100, man, you got to go beyond that. Because if you're stuck in that level, guess what? It's going to suck away the energy from there. But if you raise the energy and go beyond that, guess what? It taps into here and awakens something that you've never experienced before. Trust me, as someone who's taken psychedelics, who's been on a spiritual path even before semen retention, this practice is by far the most potent and the most powerful and the most beneficial for your overall evolution on the mental, physical, and spiritual planes of reality. So if you pick up what the fuck I'm putting down, man, you're gonna keep pushing. Because it's been your boy out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping y'all that game so you guys can make these gains, and I'm out of here. Peace.